Hey everybody, part 40 of our Every Man's Battle study tonight. And we're going to get into this here exactly where we left off. And what I want to do here as we go forward, I want to address you guys real quick. If you stayed with us, thank you. If you went back to the beginning and you're listening to every one of these, thank you. And you don't have to sit here and watch me talk or anything like that, but you could set your phone down or your device, whatever you're listening on, and just sit down, take some notes, really get into this, okay? Because this is very good stuff and I don't want you to miss anything. All right, I'm committed to this thing. I'm committed to getting in here and doing these videos for you. I want you to commit to this also. Join the ministry, repost the videos. Please repost the videos. I know some of you are struggling. If you have questions, I want to be there to answer those questions. I want to be there to help you in any way that you possibly need, okay? Let's pick it back up here. We're on your battle plan still, part 40 of our Every Man's Battle study, okay? Satan's greatest weapon against you is just such deception. He knows Jesus has already purchased your freedom. He knows that once you see the simplicity of this battle, you'll win in very short order. So he deceives and confuses. Come on, that's what Paul said, right? It's a war against your mind. That's all that it is. It's a war against your mind. The battle's already been fought. It's done. It's over. You win. You win. Don't allow Satan to have that area of you anymore, okay? He tricks you into thinking that you are a helpless victim, someone who will need years of group therapy. He tells you that sexual sin is just part of being a man, and there's nothing that you can do about it. He tells you all about sexual addiction and makes you believe that you are not a sex addict, that you're far off that hook, and you don't need an obedient life. And such deception is only one of the ways that he tries to beat you. Such deception is only one of the ways that he tries to beat you. I can tell you, let me tell you something. To me, sexual addiction, as an example, porn addiction. Here's what it looked like to me. Porn addiction meant can't get to work on time, can't go to sleep at night, have to stay up all night, constantly looking at pornography and masturbating or something like that, So therefore, I definitely wasn't a porn addict or anything like that. I just needed it as an escape. I used it as the proverbial cigarette for a non-smoker, right? But just every now and then, just need to get a breath, just need to escape what's going on, and that's a good way to do it. That sort of thing. The reality is that I was deceiving myself. I was deceiving myself. I did some real study on addiction and decided for myself that if I needed that as an escape, that addiction was present and that needed to be addressed. And so, hey, I did. I just flat out addressed it, period. I flat out took measures and went to war against it, period. And that's what it takes. Understanding maybe you're not an addict, but you better go to war against this thing so that you are a stronger and better person, okay? All right. This chapter will remove the mystery surrounding the enemy as you launch into battle. We'll define your actual objective in practical terms, and will describe some critical attributes of your sexual sin. Pay close attention to these details because once you step into the fray, you want to come out victorious. Come out victorious. Okay, your objective in this war. Your goal is sexual purity. Here's a good working definition of it. Good because of its simplicity. You are sexually pure when no sexual gratification comes from anyone or anything but your wife. Okay? Well, ladies, if you're here looking, your spouse, all right? You're sexually pure when no sexual gratification comes from anyone or anything but your spouse. Purity means stopping sexual gratification that comes to us from outside of our marriage. means stopping sexual gratification that comes to us from outside of our marriage. But how do we stop it? We're able to draw outside sexual gratification from only two places: the eyes and the mind. Therefore, to be successful in the battle for our sexual perimeter, we must blockade the shipping lanes, the eyes and the mind. Beyond that, we also want to make sure that we have healthy, positive affections and attitudes in our relationship with our spouses. Men, with your wives, okay? In other words, we want our hearts to be right. That means your objective in the war against lust is to build 3 perimeters of defense in your life. Number 1, with your eyes. Number 2, with your mind. And number 3, with your heart. That's the way we got to build this. Think of the first perimeter, your eyes, as your outermost defense, a wall with keep out signs around it. It defends your eyes by covenant, as Job did. Remember, Job said, I made a covenant with my eyes not to look lustfully at a girl. Period. Not to look lustfully at a girl. And you do that by training your eyes to bounce from objects of lust. Your eyes must bounce from the sensual, something they aren't currently doing. And we'll explain this thoroughly in part 4. With the second perimeter, your mind. You don't so much block out the objects of lust, but you evaluate and capture them. A key verse support for you here is 2 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 5. We take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. You must train your mind to take thoughts captive, something it doesn't currently do. You'll learn much more about that in part 5 of this. Now, that also means just learning a scripture verse, even just one. That particular chapter, it says, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. What's a stronghold? Something that has you bound, something you have to look at. Women, pornography, things like that. Your affair has you bound, right? But God, the weapons of our warfare, are mighty to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations and everything that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. It's all in here. It's all in here first. So let's get on, all right? Your third objective, which we will investigate in part 6, is to build your innermost defense perimeter in your heart. This perimeter is built by strengthening your affections for your wife and your commitment to the promises and the debts that you owe her. Your marriage can die from within if you neglect your promise to love, to honor, and to cherish your wife. Honoring and cherishing are your key actions in establishing this defense perimeter. And this applies even if you're single. Even if you're single, you want to honor and cherish every date, just as you hope every guy is honoring and cherishing your future wife when he goes on a date with her. So there's your battle plan. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Setting up defense perimeters and choosing not to sin. You'll have freedom from sexual impurity as soon as those defense perimeters are in place. Sexually, your outer life will finally match the inner life that God created in you. Because of your long struggle with sexual impurity, this attack plan may seem too simple to be effective. No matter. As you study the attributes of your enemy, you'll realize that simplicity is more than sufficient. So before we move on how to build these 3 defense perimeters, let's remove the mystery surrounding sexual sin by gaining a better understanding of the enemy, that we might not be deceived. Okay? I'll see you again in just a minute or two on part 41.